No Sevens college football predictions week 8, 2024. Man, these past 2 weeks, October has been brutal for No Sevens. Normally it's September that's been brutal. And when I went on that 6 game winning streak, especially with all my traveling on the weekends and everything else, I thought I was smooth sailing because normally October I got games pretty figured out. But I took a lot of notes. I made a lot of adjustments on the teams I'm betting, and I'm going with a different strategy because what was hot in September is obviously not hot in October. As you can see, 2 and 3 is not good. 18 and 13, man, it's looking pretty brutal. I need to win these next 2 weeks. If I don't win this week, No Sevens is going to be in dire straits of losing that record of winning all 3 months. Winning all 3 months. I would have to literally go back to, I think it was October of 2021, where I had a losing month for the first time. So 22 and 23 were good to me. Just hopefully 24 would be good to me too, and we can move on. So let's see what we can do. Let's dive right into it. All right, week 7 notes. Like I just said, 2 week losing streak. Not good for anybody. Not good for the wallet. Not good for anything. Um, South Carolina almost upsets Alabama at Alabama. I'll tell you, South Carolina is the real deal. We have a game this week we picked with South Carolina. We're going to go over that more in a minute. But South Carolina is only basically just so very close of just being pretty much an undefeated team. I mean, they are a legitimate sleeper. Don't sleep on South Carolina. I mean, they're kind of like the Vanderbilt, team. They just 1 or 2 plays away from winning it all. Almost beat LSU. Almost beat um, Alabama. Wouldn't it be kind of interesting? I think they're going to play Clemson at the end of the year like they normally do. Wouldn't it be something if they beat Clemson? Holy cow. All right, speaking of LSU, how about that last minute overtime victory in in Death Valley to beat Ole Miss? So Ole Miss's uh, playoff chances went from 72% if they beat LSU down to 27% if they lose to LSU. Uh, they're expecting so much from Lane Kiffin to deliver the goods. And so far, he's not delivering the goods. And you got to hand it to Lane Kiffin. He went in there to win. He was converting on fourth downs. He was slinging the ball. But LSU's defense, I tell you what, the guy Weeks is his name. He's number 40. Savion Jones, number 14. This LSU defense is starting to find their groove. And they're finally figuring out who they are on defense. Offense, they still got a little bit of rough patching to go. But defense, this is a legitimate team. Ole Miss's quarterback was sacked 6 times. It was the most ever so far. I think it was this season, and I want to say it was his career in a single game. So LSU's defense is playing lights out. Now they got a tough road ahead, um, with Alabama, and they got Florida coming up and stuff like that. So, it's the gauntlet of the SEC. And Vandy is rolling. I looked at their win stats. They're 4-2. Vandy. Oh my goodness, they're almost getting ready to crack the top 25, and I can't tell you how long. I mean, these were like basement dweller teams, in the SEC, where they were never known for football, but they were known for baseball, or maybe basketball, or another sport, but definitely baseball. So it's really interesting to see Vandy, turning this program around. I'll tell you what, that head coach is going to start getting noticed, for turning, Vandy around. If you can turn Vandy around, you can pretty much turn around any program in the SEC. So my gambling hunch is that Florida is going to look at this guy pretty hardcore. Just throwing it out there. So, and, oh yeah, for the first time ever, Vandy, I went to go look. They're playing Ball State. They are the favorite by a large margin. They're giving Ball State almost 26 points in that game. So it goes to show you. I mean, Vandy's starting to get some recognition out there. Pretty crazy stuff. That's how crazy October is so far. Okay, that is what I'm dealing with. All right, so let's go ahead and get into week 8, and let's go from there. And let's see. All right, we're going to adjust this over. Bring this over, and here we go. All right, week 8, South Carolina at Oklahoma. Man, if you saw that Red River Rival, I think that's how they call it, Red River Shootout is what I always call it. But it wasn't a shootout this year, so I guess it was the Red River. Against Texas and Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma only scored 3 points, and Texas scored, 35 points? Texas is looking like the true, legitimate team this season. Oregon beat Oregon beat Ohio State. That was a great game last week too. So Texas and Oklahoma are looking pretty legitimate. So, but you got to hand it to Ohio State, going across country, playing in a hostile environment, and only losing by a few points. All right. Anyway. So South Carolina, we went over this, that they are a legitimate team. They're playing really well. The quarterback is doing well. Their defense is playing lights out. They just can't seem to close that fourth quarter game and just clinch it, and just wrap it up. But I think that's going to change. Oklahoma is struggling right now. South Carolina is going to come in here. They know that they can win. It's the first time I think South Carolina is going to Oklahoma. This crazy schedule, how they have it all worked out. All these teams traveling to new teams, and they're like, it's the first time ever Ohio State's going to Oregon. First time South Carolina is going to Oklahoma. Yeah, and guess what? Next year it's going to happen, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after. But it's the beauty of the realignment, just so funny, how they always try to throw in first time ever, and they're like, well, dude, I'm going to be playing in this conference for the next 40, 50 years, so yeah, first time ever. Next year, it's going to be second time ever? Excuse me, as I digress. But I really like South Carolina. At Oklahoma, -1.5, this pretty much comes down to a pick'em game, so you don't even have to take the point spread. You can pretty much take the money line on this. Anything over 3 points is a non-pick'em game to me. So at -1.5, it's who do I like in this game to win it all. South Carolina played a really tough game against LSU. They played a really tough game at Alabama, in Alabama. They played great teams so far. Oklahoma has played great teams and just got the doors blown off them. I mean, there's just literally no doors. I mean, it was like riding a Jeep down the highway with no doors. That's how Oklahoma was playing with Texas and everybody else. And so I really like South Carolina to win this game flat out. And South Carolina is going to be +1.5. I'll go ahead and take that too. So we're going to take South Carolina +1.5. And they play at 11:45. Kind of a weird kickoff at 11:45. LSU -3 at Arkansas. This could be a trap game for LSU. They coming off a very emotional win, beating Ole Miss. It's going to be up to Brian Kelly and the coaches to keep those guys focused, because Arkansas is a no-joking team. That's the trap game. This is the battle of the boot. They have a golden boot. It's 24 karat, weighs about 250 pounds. It's the Louisiana and Arkansas State just combined. Arkansas is on top of Louisiana. This used to be an old rival game. Still is a rival game. Used to be played at the end of November before Texas A&M came in, and it became Texas A&M somehow got the last game of November, and that was the rival game. I don't know how that ever happened. It's always been LSU Arkansas as far as the state rival, and the Battle of the Boot is what they call it. But this game has been moved around a couple of times now. It's pretty much in the middle of October. So Arkansas they almost beat Texas A&M. They beat Tennessee on a last minute craziness of shenanigans I have never seen before in a college football game in a long time. And Arkansas is playing really good football right now, and LSU's coming off of a very high emotional win. So this is going to be a very close game. And if you want to fade this game altogether, I completely agree with you. But I'm on the bandwagon of LSU's defense playing really good right now. And I want to see a little bit more out of LSU's offense, but I think LSU's defense is going to keep them in the game. I think this could go kind of either way. If LSU's focused and ready to play this game at 6 p.m., LSU can come out this gate and swing and be up 17 points with no questions. If LSU is still hung over from their emotional win, Arkansas could be up 10, 14 points. But I don't see that happening with LSU's defense. LSU's defense, the way Blake Baker has that defense playing right now, I think LSU's defense is going to keep it in the game, and it's going to be LSU's offense that just needs to respond and keep up. So, with that being said, I really like LSU -3, and plus, they got to win in October to get ready for what's coming in November. They can't lose the next two games. So, we're going to take LSU -3 because this is a must-win game for them to keep on going to the playoffs. So, let's lock it in. LSU -3. All right. There you go. Bam. It's nice and big. Okay. So Georgia at Texas. All right. This is going to be a great game. This is at 6:30 p.m. This is where you're going to need two TVs if you're no sevens. Unfortunately, I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be traveling again. I'm going to have to go flip back and forth between LSU and Arkansas and Georgia at Texas. So this is going to be a rough spot for no sevens, but I will manage. I'll figure out a way to make it happen for me. Like I said, Texas is the number one legitimate team. I think I even looked at this. Texas was minus 14 and a half points against Georgia. You know, this is going to be a really great game. This is one of those first time Georgia ever goes to Texas. Oh my God, you know, I'm so sick of hearing the hype of first time evers. I keep on saying it because I'm just, it's starting to get underneath my skin a little bit. But Georgia really needs to win this game also. And they can't lose to another SEC team. And they already taken that one loss to Alabama. If they lose this game, then there's going to be some dire straits, you know, because the way the SEC is set up, it's no longer the SEC East and the SEC West. It's the SEC championship is the best two teams are going to play each other the way it should be done for years. And Texas is already pretty much holding that number one spot. It's everybody battling for number two. Is it going to be Alabama? Is it going to be LSU? Is it going to be Vandy? Who knows? Going to be that number two spot. I would pass out if Vandy goes to the SEC championship. That would be something crazy. But Georgia really needs to win this game. Texas needs to win this game to keep moving forward. I don't know who I like to win this game. So I'm going to make the easy prediction. Texas and Georgia are going to be slinging the ball. They're going to be throwing it. There's really not going to be a lot of defense. The over-under is 55.5. I like the over on this game because I think Texas is averaging almost 30.5 points. Georgia's averaging 20, almost 30 points per game. This is going to turn out to be a shootout pretty quickly. I really like the over at 55.5, and we're going to lock it in. All right, there we go. We locked it in. Looks like a bunch of S's. Or something crazy. All right, moving on. Another Texas team. Texas A&M at Mississippi. Mississippi State's getting plus 25.5. Mississippi State is just, ever since Mike Leach passed away, God rest his soul, Mississippi State had just been in a funk. and they just don't know how to get out of it. You know, they if you remember back in the days when it was Stark Vegas and man, it was crazy, and they had what was his name, Coach Dan, something I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. But I mean, he had Mississippi State rolling. He should go back to Florida. I mean, if I was him, I'd be like calling up. Florida should be calling up him, or Mississippi State should be calling him back up. Surprised that he's sitting at a desk. I think at CBS or somewhere, and not coaching. But anyway, at plus 25 and a half, even though Texas A&M is rolling, they're on a great win streak right now. They're another one-loss SEC team also. I don't like the plus 25 and a half, and you guys are going to send out the trolls when I tell you who I like and what I'm going to pick on this. I'm never going to hear the end of it. But I went with a safe play, and I just didn't like a lot of other things. Oregon is playing Purdue this week. That looked like kind of like a trap game with the point spread and everything. I expect Texas A&M just to win this game flat out. I'll be completely amazed. I think Mississippi State is not going to win pretty much an SEC game at all. I think if they were to play Vandy, I think Vandy will even beat them. So, and another game this week also was Kentucky at Florida, and I almost picked that game, and I almost picked Kentucky in that game. So it'd be interesting if I can catch the score in that. But Texas A&M at Mississippi State, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. And this is where you guys are going to be like, come on, no sevens. Seriously? I'm going to take Texas A&M and the money line at plus 650. I mean, at minus 650. And that's what no sevens is going with this week. Yep, I made that pick. I don't often make a lot of money line picks. I made a few of them last year. Every few years I do a few of them. This is the one where I'm not sure of, but at minus 650 money line, it's pretty much a guaranteed win. I really like it. I'm going to lock it in and take an easy ride. No sevens deserves a little bit of an easy ride after a 2-week losing streak. All right, so let's go over our simple little picks. Like I said, the parlays have just disappeared now. They're no longer doing the easy parlays. You guys have taken my advice, started putting $500,000 on my easy parlays, and just breaking the casino. So the money line picks this week is Oregon to beat Purdue, Texas A&M to beat Mississippi State, Vandy to beat Ball State. Vandy once again is on that parlay list. Hard to believe. LSU, you can fade that one if you want to. I'm a diehard LSU fan, as you know, so I'm going to put LSU and take a little bit of a risk. You put $5-10 on there, you're going to get a couple dollars back to pay for your gas and your pizza going back to the casino to pick up all your winnings, because we are going to go undefeated this week because we like winning and we want to win, because if we don't win this week, it'll be the first losing month since 2021. Hard to believe. So, guys, I wish you all the luck out there. I hope you guys have a great Saturday doing whatever you do. Hopefully, you guys can watch plenty of college football. No Sevens is going to be traveling because he's got to take care of some stuff. And my life just doesn't end sometimes. And I always try to make sure I can schedule my Saturdays to watch football. And this year has probably been the most difficult year to watch college football on Saturdays this week. I feel like at the end of November, I'm not going to feel satisfied because I'm going to be like, this season was too short because I didn't watch enough college football. I'm already starting to feel like that. And I got to seriously start rearranging some things in my life to start watching more college football, because it is the only thing I really and truly enjoy every year. I love other sports. I love NFL, I love baseball and stuff, but college football for me, that's what I look forward to every year at the end of August to, pretty much the end of November. So guys, I'm getting off my soapbox. I wish you guys all the luck, and No Sevens is going to see you on the flip side.